The Hill yesterday did 17 things. I'd say 12 of them were Republicans in disarray, division between the White House and the Hill, Speaker Johnson having trouble controlling his flock. But 5 of them were positive for the president, including turning around the Venezuela vote. My question is, Hogan, let's say you were an advisor to Speaker Johnson. Hogan is actually an advisor to Speaker Johnson. What do they need to do something big here? For instance, healthcare. Healthcare is dead. The Senate negotiators trying to get a bipartisan deal on extension of the subsidies basically say this isn't going to happen. There's like an ember, but it's not happening. The president says he's putting out a healthcare plan next week. Do they need to do something big, or do they just muddle through?
I don't know that they need to do something big. I think they need to do something that works.
Yeah.
And what form that takes, whether it be tinkering around the edges or whether it be a complete wholesale fundamental change, I think there are arguments on both sides.
Yeah.
Look, the return, I will say this just real quickly, though, as you're talking about the speaker, the return to regular order, having now passed 8 of the 12 appropriations bills in Congress in bipartisan fashion, is how that body is set up to work. And an undervalued and undersold story about Congress and his tenure is, as Speaker, this isn't governing by CRs anymore. These are actual bills.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that, addressing things like healthcare and issues that matter to the American people will be wrapped up in there and more easily digestible in those forms, too.
Right. All right, Kevin, 3 process questions. One is, the House has passed, as Hogan just said, some regular appropriations bills. It's possible we could have a partial government shutdown where some of the government is funded and some isn't. Will there be a government shutdown, Kevin? Yes or no?
I don't believe so. I don't think there's a willingness to do that. If it is, it would be partial, and it would be around DHS funding. House just sent State Department, all this kind of stuff. And to Hogan's point, I think the best thing the Republicans are doing right now is the return to regular order and the appropriating process. It's not sexy. It's an inside the Beltway story, but it speaks to just the general functioning of government.
Mm-hmm. Second, most people I talk to are very dubious about the notion that there'll be a Republican reconciliation bill, and yet the speaker's now talking about it like they're almost certainly doing it. Will they try in a serious and sustained way, whether it passes or not, to do reconciliation? First Kevin, then Hogan.
Yes, but interestingly enough, it's coming from the more conservative members right now.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll see if the moderates get on board. That would be what tank it.
Hogan, are you doing reconciliation in the House?
You're a young man, Mark, but I'm old enough to remember when they said the same thing about the first reconciliation, that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think there is going to be a serious push for it.
Yeah.
Whether they run it to watch it fail or whether they run it to succeed remains to be seen. But I would keep your eye on this. As are most things, when your party controls both chambers and the White House, it is the president who is the head of this party. And what he pushes for will most likely be the case. If he throws up his hands and says, we had one good reconciliation, I'm not too worried about it, I don't know that there's the push to get it done. If he comes out and says, no, do this for the American people, you better start to see some movement in the House, or there are going to be some serious issues.
And I also don't discount Speaker Johnson's ability to count votes when it really matters on this stuff, really not water legislation, stuff like that.
100%.
He's been able to deliver.
Anyone who wants to keep underestimating him can do it at their peril.
He is Pelosi-esque in his capabilities.
I like calling him Pelosi. That's kind of funny.
Pelosi.
Finally, do you both agree that the subsidies, the healthcare subsidies, are dead? Right? There's going to be no deal. You both agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. The president also in his interview with Reuters, it was filled with news. I feel bad for my friend Steve Holland. This interview should be everywhere. I'm the only one paying any attention to it. If you took him literally, which again is a fool's errand, because I'll give you an example of this. The president has twice previously said he knows who he's going to pick for Fed chair. He's asserted that twice. And then in the interview with Reuters, he said, well, I like both Kevins, Kevin Worth, Kevin Hassett. And Reuters interpreted his statement to mean it's going to be one of the Kevins. Now, let's steal a page from my friend Brett Baer. 100%. How do you allocate 100%? Kevin Warsh, percentage chance he's the pick. Kevin Hassett, and then everybody else. What's your allocation? Hogan.
Well, you're missing a third Kevin Walling on this panel, so we need 3 up for this role.
I will not accept, nor I will entertain.
Last year was the year of the Doug. This year's the year of the Kevin. Hogan, assigned percentages has got to equal 100. Hassett, Warsh, other.
50-50.
No, you got to do other too. Or are you just saying other is zero?
Zero. I think those two have clearly come to the top here.
Okay, so you think it's 50-50 Warsh, Hassett.
No inside information. Just
Understood.
what I'm
Understood.
seeing.
Kevin.
I think it's Kevin Hassett for the most part, right? In terms of his abilities on TV and stuff like that.
So you think it's 100-0-0?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
But the president and Hogan knows this better than anyone. Loves this like apprentice style, calling everyone into the boardroom, that kind of stuff, because it's good politics and it's interesting to people.
Okay. Here's the answer, ladies and gentlemen. Ready? It's 40-20-40. 40 Kevin Hassett, 20 Warsh, 40 other. Door number 5. Keep your eyes on door number 5, or it's going to be Hassett.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.